Welcome back, Water Ninja Bunnies. We are going to be reading another story today, and this is one that we already know, but it's a favorite. Iggy Peck, Architect, and the author is Andrea Beaty, and the illustrator is David Roberts. So, friends, I know you remember this, but I'm just going to give you a little reminder about what an architect is. Remember that an architect is a person who designs and builds homes or other kinds of buildings, right? So to be an architect, you need to have a big imagination and you need to be very creative. So let's read about Iggy Peck, the architect. Young Iggy Peck is an architect and has been since he was 2. When he built a great tower in only an hour with nothing but nappies and glue. "Good gracious, Ignatius," his mother exclaimed, "that's the coolest thing I've ever seen." But her smile faded fast as a light wind blew past, and she realized those nappies weren't clean. "Ignatius, my son, what on earth have you done? That's disgusting and nasty. It stinks." So there's Iggy in his tower, and then there is his mom. But Iggy was gone. He was out on the lawn using dirt clods to build a great sphinx. When Iggy was 3, his parents could see his unusual passion would stay. He built churches and chapels from peaches and apples, and temples from modeling clay. I'm making a silent connection because I know that we sometimes build with modeling clay in our classroom. At dinner one night, to his father's delight, means he was really happy, Iggy got a bright gleam in his eye, and out on the porch built the St. Louis Arch from pancakes and coconut pie. Yum, that looks like a delicious arch. Dear Ig had it made until 2nd grade, when his teacher was Miss Lila Greer. On the very first day, she had this to say: "We do not talk of buildings in here. Gothic or Romanesque, I couldn't care less about buildings, ancient or new." Ancient is another word for super old. She said in her lecture about architecture that it had no place in grade 2. What's Iggy doing back there? That might seem severe, but she was sincere, for when she was no more than 7, she'd had a great fright at a dizzying height in a building so tall it scraped heaven. Wow, look at how tall those buildings are. And then there's Miss Greer when she was 7 years old. On an architect's tour of the 95th floor, young Lila got lost from the group. Oh no. She was found 2 days later in a stuck elevator eating cheese with a French circus troupe. After that day, it's quite safe to say, she thought all building lovers were nuts. As a teacher, she taught that, above all, one ought to avoid them. No ifs, ands, or buts. So no one was allowed to build. And there's Miss Lila Greer when she was little, stuck in an elevator. As you might guess, it would cause Iggy stress to hear such terrible talk. But he didn't hear. He sat in the rear, while building a castle of chalk. Wow, check out that castle. You, Iggy Peck, your desk is a wreck. Tear down that castle right now. You will not build in here. Is that perfectly clear? Do you need to see Principal Howe? No, ma'am, Iggy said. He lowered his head, and his heart sank down to the floor. How do you think Iggy's feeling right now? I wonder. With no chance to build, his interest was killed. Now second grade was a bore. After 12 long days that passed in a haze of reading, writing, and arithmetic is a kind of math, Miss Greer took the class to Blue River Pass for a hike and an old-fashioned picnic. And there's Iggy all the way in the back. They crossed an old trestle to a small island nestled in the heart of a burbling stream. But they no sooner passed than the footbridge collapsed. That means it fell apart, and Miss Lila Greer started to scream. We're trapped here. Oh my, alas, kids, goodbye. Her eyeballs rolled back in her head. She dropped to the ground with a vague groaning sound. Luckily fainted, not dead. Oh no. There's a lot of things going on here. What happened to the bridge? It's all gone. The class was amazed. They stood there, quite dazed, uncertain of what they should do. They did not know what to do. But one bright young man was off hatching a plan, which started with Miss Lila's shoe. Soon each lad and lass, or girl and boy, there at Blue River Pass was working together as one. Wow. They've got all kinds of materials. What do you guys see? I wonder what they're building. And when she came to, Miss Lila Greer knew that something quite brave had been done. She looked in the air and saw hanging there a structure with cables and braces. And on the far side, beaming with pride, that means they were very proud, were 17 smiling young faces. Boots, tree roots and strings, fruit roll-ups and things, some of which one should not mention, were stretched ridge to ridge in a glorious bridge, dangling from shoestring suspension. Wow, check out that bridge. Super cool. It all became clear to Miss Lila Greer as she crossed that bridge over the stream. There are worse things to do when you're in grade 2 than to spend your time building a dream. I'm going to make a silent connection here because this kind of reminds me of some of the blueprints that we've made in our classroom. Now every week at Blue River Creek, elementary and second grade, all the school kids can hear, along with Miss Greer, how the world's greatest buildings were made. The weekly guest speaker, in t-shirt and sneakers, talks of buildings from Rome to Quebec. Those are 2 different places in the world. Of course, he's the guy who builds towers from pie. The brilliant young man, Iggy Peck. There he is. And it looks like he's designing some buildings. I can see some measurements, some writing. All right, friends. So I have a challenge for you while you're spending some time at home. I would like to see what you can build while you're at home. So think of some materials you could use. It could be anything. Try to be as creative as you can, kind of like Iggy Peck. And think about what you can build with those materials. Okay, so it can be anything. And once you're all done building, you can ask your grown-ups to take a picture and share it with me, Miss Barrett, and I can share it with the whole class. Okay, and we can see what everyone has built. All right, thanks for listening, friends. I can't wait to see what you build.